You are now entering Maximum Driftcast, the only drifting podcast hosted by a Spanish soccer mom, a 30-year-old silver-haired fox going on 60, and finally, a 200-pound bowl of spaghetti with chimichanga arms.
The champions, we are the champions.
And we are back. We're back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We're back in Maximum Driftcast, and we are here, all the boys, and we have a double Corey right here. What's going on, Sam?
Oh, hey guys. I'm just here with my boy Corey, my boy Corey's dog, Paco, and my drift dad, Ryan J. Sage.
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome.
That's like
Corey, how's this
8
picture
guests.
do for you? Does this picture work? You seem...
It's actually very sad, Sam, because that's the dog I love so much that perished, and now I have to see it again. That's the one.
There you go.
What's...
So let me get it straight. We have Corey, the hot dog, Corey with a dog, then Corey, behind Corey is Corey himself driving his car. So that's what, like a triple Corey hot dogception.
Triple threat, Corey threat.
Oh,
yeah.
But now I'm worried because now I have to go and change my background image, and that one I had spent a lot of time finding. So now you've made me feel bad.
Thanks, Sam.
Yeah.
Picking a really good background image. Well, we'll pick that out.
Do you know 2021? What are you 2021? 2020. This year's already been very tough, Sam, and you're not making it easier on me, so I appreciate it.
The dog's been gone forever. Just get a new one, like Ryan J. Sage. Yes. Ryan J. Sage just got a new dog named Fifi. Why don't you do that?
I might now.
Okay, good. I'm going to look for another picture.
Thanks.
Ryan Sage is here. We're going to go drifting in less than a week, and he's going to answer all the questions about it. And the first and most important one that I have to ask right off the bat is, what did you do to James Dean and my boy Peter?
That's messed up.
What did I do? Oh, boy.
Yeah, what did you do to them? Why are they not here? That's a stupid question. You didn't.
The script didn't play on the favor, dude. James had to finish second this year. They got pissed about it. Did you know
what it was?
We had to write them out. Chris needs another championship, so this is the only way it could happen.
Yeah, it's weird that you guys would edit the script this late in the season, or this late in the preseason, I should say. But you've had time to like really figure out the stuff. But yeah, I want to talk mostly about the round and everything that a Formula Drift round looks like in this climate, because that's, I think, what everyone really wants to know. But yeah, that was the big news this week. I figured we'd discuss that now, because if there's no better way to completely show that you've rocked a series, it's, I guess, showing up, winning the championship 3 years straight, winning or at least podiuming the majority of the rounds, and then just leaving, I guess. So I guess that's one good way to show dominance. But I don't know, what's your take on it, Sage?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Obviously, that there has to be some COVID elements related to it. I mean, just knowing from behind the scenes, they travel with a really large crew, and it's really hard to travel right now internationally. It can be done, but it takes a tremendous amount of work. So them getting here, I think, was already going to be a tough challenge if things didn't open up more clearly. What I think was maybe more deeply interesting was the separation between the two. That I don't have a lot of knowledge about, and James has spoken, in some sense on some videos or a video that he released, I think yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, that he released on his YouTube, like what his plans are for the future are going to be. I think a lot of people are speculating, why are James and Peter separating? Is there something weird going on there? To the best of my knowledge, there's nothing weird going on there. I think it's just, maybe it's time for Wirthouse to do something different. It's time for James to do something different. Whether or not that came about because of COVID, it's really hard to say. But the team getting here had always planned to come on this final schedule that we have now, and only as of recently, I think that they made that decision. So I'm sure we're all really interested to kind of find out the, juicy details of what transpired there. But in terms of the logistics, it's pretty easy to understand why they couldn't come to the U.S. at this point.
Yeah, it's a bummer to see that we won't be seeing those boys, but yeah, like you said, it's the weird thing is that it's not just FD. I guess it's like a full split internationally.
Oh.
Siri? Did Siri?
Yeah, I think Siri blocked you. Say that again.
What I said was fuck James, fuck Peter. How dare they?
I guess
No, I
Siri,
didn't say that.
Siri censored you.
No. Yeah, no, it's a bummer that they're not going to be with us here. But yeah, it's weird that they chose to cease all things international together as well. So yeah, that was what I was commenting on.
Yeah, James released that video. I don't know if you saw it, Sam, but it was very vague. It didn't really give much information either. Just like, oh, we're going our separate ways. There's a lot of opportunity I can do, and that was pretty much it. So there was. Yeah,
I mean, Peter is a top tier driver. James is a top tier driver. I wonder if that had something to do with it, but I don't want to speculate. We'll hopefully get James and/or Peter on the show. I'm not going to lie, they're the most challenging guests to get on the show because when I ask them, they constantly just make fun of me and give me wrong numbers. So that's been a fun thing to deal with in the past. We've gotten them on before. They just make me work for it. But we'll get them. Do you guys want to talk about Formula Drift St. Louis?
Ugh, so many questions.
That's why we're here, Sam.
While we're here, I guess while you're here, Ryan Sage, we might as well talk about Formula Drift St. Louis.
Sure.
We spoke to you how many months ago? It feels like a lifetime ago when we were all just speculating as to what the rounds would be, what they would look like, who would be there, how people would drive, what would all take place in these rounds. And you guys have released a lot of that info, assuming that no one, I just want to start from like a clear, clean point. Assuming that someone hasn't looked at the website, they haven't read any drifters' Instagrams or followed FD on Instagram, how would you describe this weekend's event to them, knowing nothing? And we'll go from there.
Yeah, I mean, so where we got to now was, basically from the 8-round championship, the original one that we announced at SEMA, then to the version 2 that kind of pushed everything back. And then the version 3 was, okay, now we need to figure out how we can even hold events at all because, we're looking at different markets and people are saying we can't hold events. So how do we make it so that we can actually have a championship? And we were able to work out a situation where we had still the 8 rounds, but they're going to be happening at 4 specific markets. And what that means is that for the Pro 2 championship, they'll still have their 4-round championship. That'll take place on Friday. They'll have a full top 32 competition. And then on Saturday and Sunday, you'll basically have back-to-back rounds, essentially, rounds 1 and round 2 for St. Louis, where you'll have your standard 32 bracket competition that you're used to. And the tricky part going into this was that we originally had anticipated that we were going to have like 36 or 37 drivers, which meant one of 2 things without qualifying, which basically meant we had to come up with a 36 or 35 car bracket, a la drag racing, which really gives you some really weird anomalies, like midway through competition where the buys happen midway in competition. Mm-hmm. Or you had to do like a last chance qualifier bracket, where there would be a certain group of drivers that basically would have to have one more round of competition, one more battle to get into the top 32. Now that didn't happen because a lot of or a few of the 36, 35 drivers that were part of our original registration can't make it. So what we're going to end with, as of today, I think we have 30 drivers that are registered and that are on the road probably right now to go into competition. There's an outside possibility, more than 50-50, that there's going to be some, that was Fifi, some late additions to the event because they've been able to work with CBP to get in the country. But we're not going to have any more than 32 drivers. We'll basically be 32 under, so it'll just be what you expected it to be.
Yeah, which is, I bet, at least a little bit of a relief. I feel like you'd rather have 31 than 33, right? Because at least from a simplicity standpoint of making the bracket, right?
Trying to explain a 35 car bracket to the fans,
yeah,
that is not a last chance qualifier bracket is a nightmare. Having a last chance qualifier bracket for the drivers that get those 35, 34, 33, 32 draws sucks for them.
Yeah.
So there was a no-win situation there. But not luckily and not thankfully, it is what it is. We're going to be at 32 below, so it'll just be the standard 32 car bracket.
Sorry for
Fifi.
I'm going to mute myself and shut the door real quick, but keep asking questions.
It worked. I just yelled at Fifi.
Good job, Sam. Actually worked pretty good.
So sorry if I yelled in your ears, listeners and/or Ryan. Hopefully the auto levels on Zoom adjusted that, because I'm just on my headphones. I don't have my good mic. Usually, I'll back up before I do a yell. Didn't have that option. I guess I could. Can I just try this real quick?
Sure. Oh,
how'd that work?
It was nice and quiet.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll do that next time. Sorry, next time.
So if you,
it's funny.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so like if for whatever reason you ended up having 33 or 34 drivers, what would happen to those 2 extra drivers?
Well, there's 2 options, right? There's 2 options when you have above 32. You can either go to a 33, 34, 35 car bracket, which basically puts everybody at an even playing field from where they start. But in the middle somewhere, you end up having a bye in certain parts of the bracket, which seems weird, right? Like it's hard to explain how that would happen. But that's just the way typical brackets of that size work. Or you can have an additional round above the 32. That's kind of a last chance qualifier for the people that end up getting those numbers in the draw, because we're doing a draw to field the 32 car bracket. And I can explain how that works and what our rationale is behind it. But none of those we're going to have to do. We're still going to be doing the draw. It'll fill the 32 car bracket, and then we'll have the competition.
Interesting.
It's funny that it took, not funny, nothing's funny. It's interesting that it took this climate and crisis to get rid of qualifying. And I'm curious to see what would come of a completely renewed and ready to go world in 2021, and like how these changes will affect Formula Drift. Because I imagine even if everything is 100% normal again next year, like you're probably going to learn so much from these forced changes and make new decisions based off of how well or how badly they go off.
Yeah, no, there's definitely like systemic potential changes that can reverberate through our competition that we've thought about quite a bit. One is, do we just go to a 32 cutoff and call it that? The challenge with that is that it makes it a lot harder for Pro 2 drivers to kind of matriculate up. And you kind of have to go to a franchise-based model, which is where teams own positions, right? And then they can put whatever drivers they want to put in. That's kind of like how NASCAR operates. That's how Major League Baseball operates. But it's really challenging to think about how that would work. And it fundamentally, it changes the way that we do things. But it does obviously give a lot of value to the programs of the people that are those 32 teams, whether or not they're enlisted to drivers or, teams like Falcon or, something like that. So I don't know that we'll get there or if that's where we want to go, but it certainly, we've had a lot of discussions about it.
What have you guys like so far as fan attendance? What out of the 4 rounds, what do you have so far as like, are you guys gonna be at 15% capacity, 100% capacity, no audience? Especially like after watching all these other like NBA, that they have like literally no people. They have just this cutouts of people in the chairs. What's the situation so far with you guys?
Yeah, so outdoor events in general have fared much better than indoor events. You mentioned the NBA, and who knows what's going to happen with the NFL. I know that the Cowboys announced that they're going to have fans at their opening day event, and that is one of the events that we have scheduled to have fans. But everything that we announced a couple months ago, and the stuff that we announced to teams and drivers about what to prepare for, has still held up until today, which we didn't expect that. So right now, St. Louis will have fans. Seattle will not. Texas will have fans, and Irwindale will not. But with Seattle and Irwindale, there's always a possibility that they could open up for fans. Seattle seems unlikely at this point because we're, less than a month away. Irwindale, who knows, right? But it is California. So California has definitely been a lot slower to open things up. With St. Louis and Texas, the interesting thing there is that the size of the venue is 60,000 to 70,000 for St. Louis and like 100K for Texas. And the area that we're in those venues is like 25 to 30,000 capacity. So we have 25% limited capacity at both St. Louis and Texas. So if you do 25% of 25,000, or you do 25% of whatever 40, 50,000 at Texas, we can still have a pretty sizable fan base. The way like tickets are tracking for St. Louis, we seem to be on par with last year. And St. Louis this past weekend just had a triple header at the exact venue that we're going to with IndyCar, ARCA, and I think they had NASCAR trucks. And they were expecting like 10 to 15,000 people. And so we're kind of working under that same model because of where we are located in the venue, so that people can be in the grandstands, they can be socially distanced with space, between the different rows and all that kind of stuff. And then when it comes to like the paddock and pit, it'll still be open, but there's going to be like protective barriers between the general public and the teams. So that's how that's all going to kind of work. I mean, there's going to be, temperature checks and, wear a mask if you're within 6 feet and all that kind of stuff. And we have all these details emailed out to, ticket buyers and on our website and everything. But that's kind of the reality that we're in right now. So that's what we're working with.
I'm trying to picture what like selfies with drivers are going to be like, and it's going to be pretty much as far away as like Paco and I on the screen. It's going to be like, yo, Turk, well, let me get a photo with you, and it's going to be like two guys 10 feet apart and just like smiling, thumbs up.
I mean, like the hover hands has been a thing, so now it's probably gonna be like what's called like a forced hover hand.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of teams have brought up the exact thing that you guys just brought up, is like, how do we deal with fans who want to have selfies? And, we're not here to tell teams how to, deal with those kind of things, but they kind of want the series to say, hey, fans, be respectful of drivers when they're walking through the pit and paddock. Don't come up and grab them and ask them for a photo, maybe do it while they're, in their pit and paddock and things like that. So like a big chunk of
drivers should be responsible and respectful about it. Like if I was a driver doing this, Corey, I'm sure you'd have a bunch of creative ideas to like do some really bad forced framing. Like it's up to the drivers to make it fun and cool still,
Yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of that. I know that there are some drivers, depending on where you come out on this issue, like politically, there's some drivers that are very much in the, I'm worried, I'm worried about the protocols, blah, blah, blah. And then there's other people that are like, I'm gung ho. I want to do this. I want to get my program going. We're stoked to be, having competition. We'll deal with whatever, protocols the region has to implement, blah, blah, blah. And so, our lives over the past, couple months have been exactly what we're doing now, like Zoom calls with drivers, kind of breaking down like how things are going to happen, what's going to be going on, sending out waivers and sending out, new information for them to digest, and, how tech is going to work and all that kind of stuff. And all of that is meant to be done so that when we get to the event day, it basically operates how we're kind of used to it operating outside of the, the protocols that the region's going to have.
Yeah. We only have, unfortunately, a limited amount of time with our good dad friend here, Ryan Sage. So I do want to get these super chats up and out there. And this is actually kind of my next question is, excuse me, this is from Chris Nelson, who says, how has FD stepped up their live stream this year? Because, obviously without as many fans, or at least as zero fans in some of these locations, what have you guys done to elevate the viewing experience for people that would have happily have spent hundreds and thousands of dollars going to these events and now cannot?
Yeah, I mean, when we first started going through this, there was always the question of like, well, how are we going to make this happen financially? And, the idea of like doing a pay-per-view was brought up, and it just doesn't really work with our model, just because sponsors are expecting views, and we do tons of custom content throughout the year, so we needed to do that. So we had to find a way to be able to do the live stream and all of our content without having to be behind a paywall. One of the interesting things that happened with Long Beach is that prior to Long Beach, I was already deep into the contractual negotiations with a new live stream partner. And the live stream partner that we went after at the end of last year were the same group of people that produced X Games Dubai, and they do the Winter Dew Tour and the Summer Dew Tour. And I wanted to get some new eyes on the live stream, a different way to produce it, a new graphic set, all that kind of stuff. So I'd already made that deal prior to COVID. So we were in it. So that we were committed to having to fulfill that contractual obligation. So yeah, this year there's going to be a completely new look on the live stream, new graphics package, whole new production team. I'm really happy with the guys. I mean, they working with them so far. It's been awesome. We'll still, obviously Jared's going to be back. I'll be doing side commentating. Lorette will be back. And we'll have, a lot of other fun things, drone and, all the good stuff.
Is it the same people who did FD Japan?
No, different group.
Okay. I was just going to say, just because FD Japan looked very good.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh yeah, I'll let them know.
There's this one furious dude on YouTube that says, "What the fuck? Where's the halftime show?" And I don't know. He left really quick, and he seems mad though. But honestly, there's at least a couple thousand people being like, "Yo, that would be the last thing I would cut from Formula Drift if there's no income going in."
Yeah, no, I know. It was between the live stream or the halftime show, and the halftime show got close, but the live stream moved forward.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
That was a tough call, man.
Have the best all the time.
The joke that I've been making to people is we were on the chopping block before COVID. How do you think we're doing now? Maybe 1 year when we're all flush with big buku cash, we can get back out there. Or in the meantime, we're going to do our own halftime show to ourselves in our own heads while we watch. Yeah. I'm very excited to watch drifting, though. I got to smell burnout smoke for the first time in many months, and it was a life-changing experience. I'd forgotten what that was, and it felt very special. So good. I'm very excited for all the people that will be out in St. Louis, and I'll be watching it vicariously through the monitor.
Yeah. Just on that real quick on the halftime show, one of the things that I'm pretty sure we're going to do is that for no fan events, we will not do the standard hour and a half halftime break, because there's no reason to do it, right? So what will probably happen, and nobody, I don't think we've announced this yet, is that we'll do the top 32, have a smaller break, and then finish up much more quickly. So that way there won't be an hour and a half break between 32 and 16.
So not only the
that's
halftime...
That's usually the time where I do really gross, weird stuff, and I need that hour and a half.
Yeah.
If I'm at home to really catch back up.
Right.
So not only have that, not only halftime show gets chopped, the halftime itself gets chopped. But
yeah,
we see how it is.
Mm-hmm.
there's
let me bang through these super chats. And
yeah,
then,
go for it.
We'll get back to some of our questions for Ryan, and then if you guys have any more super chats, get them out right now, because
I'll have one right now.
Okay. We're gonna be saying goodbye to Ryan and moving on to our next guest in approximately 20 minutes. So just so you guys can schedule that if you're listening live. All right, Paco, the question after Chris Nelson.
All right, Ben Tranter says, no qualifying for 2020 makes sense, but please don't get rid of it for the future. Unpopular opinion, but.
Yeah, I think Ben understands the necessity of seeding the bracket. That's the tough part about getting rid of qualifying.
Yeah. And then Dream Tank says, beard and hair products are coming for 2021 Maximum Driftcast vendors next year for FD. Well, Corey doesn't have a lot of hair left. Paco, I can't tell. He's got all of his hairs going.
There's a rat tail.
Neck. Ryan Sage, you know what he is. His hair level.
He's built like a dolphin.
Yeah. And that's for comfort and speed, to be clear, guys. And then, but yeah, I'll happily be the guy that, as long as you can give me some chrome, like a chrome dome. Aaron Quilas was saying, I was starting to think FD left us, like when my dad told us he was picking up smokes at the gas station.
Yeah.
Good one, Aaron. That's
Thank
not
you.
funny for Paco. Me.
Oh, I'm good.
We're all orphans. That's why we call Ryan Sage our dad, because he
Yeah.
adopted us.
Right.
Wild War to Formula Drift. And then James Goldman, the Goldman himself, he says, do Seattle fans get ticket refunds if there are no spectators allowed? Online, it says no refunds.
Yeah, every event that we've had to do no fans at this year, or if there's been like a date cancellation or rescheduling, we'll do full refunds across the board. What we're doing for Seattle is we sent out a notice this morning, is basically there's an outside possibility that they could go into phase 3, which is 25% attendance. Now, 25% attendance at Seattle is much different than 25% attendance at St. Louis. 25% attendance at Seattle is basically like 2,500 fans. So if you bought a ticket and you have it, we will hang on to it. If you want us to, we'll refund you at any time because of COVID, if you want us to do that at the same time. But that will guarantee your admission if they go into phase 3. If we don't go into phase 3, then boom, it's done. We'll refund you 100%. That's been our policy.
Corey, what you got? I have a more like open-ended question, but I don't want to take up the rest of the show asking it.
No, I just listening to Ryan talk on behalf of Formula Drift and what things we see changing. Just looking at Pro 2, Pro 1, the doubleheader on the weekends. Is the track, and this is just a random question, but is the track layout going to remain the same? Or I knew there was testing at last St. Louis of different configurations. Are we expected to see a new configuration this year, or is there going to be something similar?
There's going to be some slight deviations from last year's track layout. We are getting rid of the last inside clip and moving it to an outside zone, a la Forsberg, getting that whole kind of mess. And a bunch
of people get dunked up over there. I know that oil got on the track, but
yeah, there was a whole bunch of mess that happened because the oil, but then like on top of that, just the way the track layout, I think it works better as an outside zone. We will have that track layout for all 3 days. And part of the reasoning behind that is Thursday is our main practice day. What we had to do in trying to figure out this schedule was to mimic the amount of practice that they need prior to each part of competition. And there was no way to do that with 2 different layouts. Teams wouldn't buy into that, and we just wouldn't have enough time on a 3-day weekend to be able to do that. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will be the exact same track layout.
Nice.
I wonder how when we first heard about like the doubleheader for the Pro 1 dudes, it's like how many people are going to intentionally save their cars on a Saturday to start fresh Sunday, or if I know anything about most of the drifters, they're gonna fucking send it on Saturday. They're gonna destroy their car and send it as hard as they can, and just try to pick up the pieces overnight. Like that's what's one of the most interesting things about this back to back thing for me, and I'm curious to see how much St. Louis will tell us about it. If it's all going to happen now, or if we're going to see stuff in Seattle or Texas, or even on up to Irwindale that will like really affect and change the outlook of the season based on the back to back.
Yeah, well, I mean, some of the drivers probably noticed. I don't know how relevant it'll be for the teams, just because it's already hard to transport a car as it is. But every new day of competition is a brand new session, right? So if you wrecked your car on Saturday and you couldn't make it back on Sunday, you could start with a new car on Sunday because that's a new event. So you could see some people doing those kind of things. And I know some of the teams have thought about what's the best way to conserve the car over a 2-day period. We've never done this before, so there's no case study. There's no case studies to it. The cars are already beat up as they are after one event. But what we're trying to do is basically give teams enough time between Saturday and Sunday to make any kind of necessary repairs that they would have to have. So if you look at our schedule, like every single day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we start at like 11:45 of whatever the time frame that we're in for that particular venue, and we end at 7. So by the time we get done at 7 o'clock, and it'll be kind of still light outside for most of the venues except for Irwindale and probably Texas, they've got that whole night and the next morning to kind of get ready again.
You don't have to worry about qualifying and having to do a badass turn your car up to 11 solo run. You're going to be just going right into battle, even if your frame ain't straight. There's going to be a lot of late night calls on Saturday night to frame straightening shops.
Well, what's really interesting about it from my perspective is when we get to a Thursday, we're going to determine the bracket for Pro 2 and the first round of Pro, right? And we're going to be able to talk about that for a period of time. And then when the event happens for Pro, once we get done with the podium ceremony, the next bracket is going to be filled by that same draw mechanism. So for a 24-hour period or a 16-hour period, we're going to be able to talk about those battles that we're going to see in top 32. And then when Sunday's done, we're going to do the same thing, right? We're going to draw again on Sunday for the next round in Seattle. So for that 2-week period, we're going to be able to talk about the battles that are going to be coming up in 32, and all the drivers are going to know about it as well. And like, they'll be able to plan for that and think about that in their practice sessions and all that kind of stuff. So these are all new things that nobody's ever experienced before that are certainly probably going to have some kind of impact on competition.
And that's what's going to be so fun though, is that like, as long as there's thankfully everyone on the internet has now become nice and happy and chill. And like no one says mean shit just to be mean anymore, because we all realize that like everyone's struggling and trying their best out there. But that's what's cool, is that everyone's just doing their goddamn best to like make it. All the drivers have reduced budgets, no doubt. Someone probably lost all their budget and they're still wanting to drive and are making it. The everything is new for you guys on the production end, I imagine. Not even the new live stream crew, forget about all that, but just having to put on this show in this style, in this way. It's new for the people at the track. It's new for everyone, and like everyone's just going to be trying to make drifting work in 2020. And I'm really excited to see, and I encourage everyone that is going to be watching with us to like, watch it with a lens of understanding that this is going to be an incredible feat to accomplish for everyone, just to make it and make this thing happen. So that's what's exciting for me, is that it is all new and fresh in some way.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like, this really shouldn't be happening. It would have been a lot easier to kind of just pack up shop and, take the year off. But, when we started thinking about that, because that was raised to us at the initial, on the second tranche after version 2 was getting rescheduled, you start looking at the landscape and you just realize that there's no way that most of the teams are going to be able to survive that. And we would obviously have to furlough and, fire or whatever employees, and we weren't willing to do that. So you start thinking about what is the best thing that you can come up with so that something can happen this year, right? Yeah. And then that you can use that as a bridge to 21 in hopes that things are going to, somewhat normalize by the time you get to 21. Now, whether or not that happens, I don't know. But not doing a series this year, I think, would have been pretty close to a death blow for, if not the series, definitely a lot of the teams.
Yeah, I imagine a lot of the teams are very grateful for that. A lot of the fans are very grateful for that. But I mean, I imagine, not that I'm asking FD to disclose financial numbers, but it's like, I don't imagine most event promoters and throwers and people making these altered versions of live events, they're probably not making money on these, and they're probably all losing money to stay in the game and to keep the series and or the event series and or whatever alive, because you guys get ticket sales and you have people buying merch, and those two big things I imagine are not happening. So we're very grateful for you guys and every other person that is losing money to keep the show going. So
yeah, it's always a good exercise, like in how the business models work. Like, with NASCAR and with IndyCar, the main difference between them and us is that, they have a television licensing deal with a network that pays them a big fee, right? And then the tracks, who act as the promoter, pay them a fee to come to the track. In our case, we don't have a television licensing rights deal, and the tracks don't pay us. We pay the tracks to rent them out, and then the tickets that we get to sell are a big chunk of our operating revenue. So take that away, and there's not much of the business left outside of sponsorship. So it was a really tough challenge to kind of figure out how to make this all work given those constraints. And we're going to make it work. It's going to be fine. we're going to bridge this, and you have to tackle the challenge head on. And it really boils down to a decision like, do you want to do this, right? Do you want to go through all of this hell to try and keep the sport alive? And the answer for me is, it's wholeheartedly yes. And that's ultimately what you have to do.
That's beautiful. Corey, are you wiping away a tear?
Is there anything that you've learned through this process that you can see yourself continuing next year when this whole COVID thing passes? Has this like uncovered anything where it's like, man, we should have changed this earlier? Or because I can imagine you potentially have to redigging into things and reorganizing things, but is there a few things that you can see yourself continuing that may streamline things different or benefit the series at all? Or
I mean, not an answer to your specific question, but maybe something that's behind it is that, when we went through this process, like you're looking at every aspect of the business. You're looking at every employee, what they do. You're looking at every vendor, every contractor, the relationships with the teams, like your relationships with sponsors, like how that's all supposed to function and supposed to work. And in an environment where, you can't guarantee that you're going to have, fans coming out to an event, how does that change your thinking, right? So I think part of our thinking into the future is, well, if something like that continues, what part of the model needs to change? And obviously, anybody that's involved in like what's going on in the digital land space right now, especially like, we're using Zoom right now, all those things are off the charts, right? Like everybody except for Jeff Bezos and Apple has pretty much suffered through this through this crisis, right? And if you're a live event producer, you're totally suffering because people can't come to your event, so you have to shift and make changes. I don't think that in a situation where we normalize, there will be that much of a change. However, I do think that the emphasis on more content, possibly more live type events. We did the skills battle thing, right?
That was great, by the way.
That all came about because of COVID. The Chris Forsberg documentary, that all came about because of COVID. And those are some really good case studies on certain bits of content that work better than others because we'd never done those things before. And I think we learned a lot about that. So I think it's going to inform our decision making moving forward. How it changes, it's much harder to answer.
Do you think skills battle is gonna be something that we're gonna start seeing more often, even after we go, like the whole COVID thing goes away and we go back to 7-8 rounds, whatever? Because it seemed like it did pretty good, and it was interesting seeing the drivers doing something else than just those, drifting.
Yeah, I know Jim wants to make that an annual thing. How we do that, I think, is a tougher question, right? Because drivers. In a COVID realm, drivers are much more interested in getting their cars out to the track in conditions where they're not going to ruin their cars and not have to put on slicks or a treated track and brake trannies and things like that. So we got a lot was given to us to make that happen. How you could do that prior to Long Beach, say for example, or post Irwindale is a different kind of question. I think. It's hard to imagine that you could do the exact same thing without COVID, but certainly like the proof of concept of something like that integrated into the events or prior or after the events, I think kind of makes sense. So yeah, we would love to do it. I think everybody loved it. And it was really cool to see people and drivers specifically kind of like out of their element in a certain kind of way.
That's great, man.
Got it. You guys want to... Okay.
Sorry, there's noise in the background, so I muted. I was going to say we're going to blast through these last super chats and then hit some lightning Instagrams and then send Ryan to bed so he can go to St. Louis in the morning, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Oh, do you have to go do a DJ set?
No, I have to do something else.
Is that what this cool picture is and that I've made in my background? Is that you as a DJ?
Oh, you know what? I didn't even notice. That is me. Yeah, that is from a DJ set.
How did you not notice? That's a pretty dope picture.
I thought it was Moby.
Yeah.
You thought it was Moby?
Good.
I think Sage gets that a lot. Ben Trander says Skills Battle was sick, Forsberg stock was sick, Discord is sick. Thanks, Ryan. Chris Nelson says, speaking of daylight, what is a contingency plan for lighting at the rounds?
There's no really need for contingency because St. Louis, Seattle, Texas are all going to be in the daytime. Irwindale is the only one that we're planning on doing at nighttime. And we actually have some cool ideas with car underlighting on that one. I won't say too much more than that, but we are in the absence of fans, if that happens, we're thinking about some other things to kind of make that a special event.
Interesting.
That's awesome. All right, and then Global Media says support Formula Drift 2020 and Maximum Driftcast. Thank you, Global Media.
Global Media.
And then Instagram questions. Paco, do you have any fired up?
I have one ready to fire up.
Do
This
it.
Ryan, question from UZ1UZ. Are you allowing longer than 5-minute competition timeouts or more competition timeouts than last year? Given that the vehicles are going through more stress with 2 events per weekend, this could be a useful handicap to keep cars on track. Thoughts?
Yeah, we haven't changed anything to the competition timeouts just because the events are separated by basically like a full day or a half a day. We have changed some elements of judging criteria, trying to make some clarifications after what we thought, was a pretty controversial finale to the James Dean, back to back against Forrest. So stuff like that, we've definitely changed. I know Kevin's made a few adjustments to technical regs, but I think he was on your guys' show to talk about that. But for the most part, I think what you kind of saw last year is more or less similar to this year.
It's such good questions here. So this one is maybe giggle from 13 ERT. Ryan Sage, Formula D. Why can't I bring my dog?
Well, you can. You just got to get one of those red vests.
Yeah.
Easy.
Okay. That's good.
$25
Macho
on
Man.
Amazon.
Macho Man with the hard hitters. Thank you, Macho. These are the kind of questions America needs. Do you think that cannibalism is marketable skill that sponsors are looking for, or would they just consider that a bone?
Pretty good.
And then an emoji of a bone. There's also one thing I wanted to highlight in the YouTube earlier. It was a takeoff of one of Jared's most famous lines. But what was it? Is that saying that the runs this year are gonna be the prettiest? Was that what it was?
Not the prettiest.
Not the prettiest.
No. But someone was saying this year the runs are going to be the prettiest. And for some reason that saying just has such a new energy to it when you say these runs are the prettiest. Do you have any more questions for Ryan here before we send Ryan out? Instagram. And then like most of you guys on Instagram, of course, are not going to have your question answered here, but we'll be going in there. If Ryan on the airplane wants to help answer some of these, he can. A couple of them we already answered, such as like Seattle. Is it safe to bring my parents to Seattle? You don't even get to make that choice because no, they can't go. But also probably don't bring your old parents anywhere. That there is a public event. That's just my 2 cents. Ryan could tell you otherwise if he wants to.
I concur.
Yeah.
I have a quick question from Hive097. Do you think any teams will have a hard time keeping a car together for 2 consecutive days of competition? Which I kind of wanted to link it to something we were talking about before we went live about, like, can drivers bring 2 cars, one for each day?
Mm-hmm. Which he did say. He did say they can do that.
Yeah, they can do that because it's a brand new event. Whether or not they're going to be able to keep it together for 2 days, I think it really boils down to what they have to deal with. There for sure are going to be instances where somebody goes through hell and has a wreck in 32 and then moves on somehow and then has a bunch of one more times in the top 16 and then, has some tough battle. I mean, you just know that's going to happen, right? Like whatever you don't want to have happen, probably will happen. So we're going to see something like that. But I think the drivers know that. Like the drivers that I've spoken with seem to think that the time frame that we have between the event ending and it starting the next day is enough time to basically do. Look at Papadakis, for example, being able to change an engine in 30 minutes, right? So if it's just about cosmetics, that's not an issue. It's more as like, is the chassis bent, right? And can you not function at the same performance level? So Could it happen? Yeah. Is it likely? I don't know.
Yeah, we've seen so many teams out there pretty much swap out every component of a car in under 18 hours. So I'm not too concerned on that front. But of course, the frame bending question is the big one there. All right, I think that is every question I have about Formula Drift. No, it's not. I've got 1,000 more. But we brought in a ringer to help answer the really hard questions right after you, Ryan. And we're very excited to see what you guys put on for this weekend's show. And thanks for keeping it free. And I guess at the cost of not being able to eat this year, Ryan, I appreciate you taking that Buddhist vow of not eating. That's what that's called, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, safe travels, and we're very excited to watch you and the rest of the FD family on the live stream.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan.
Hey, thanks a
All
lot,
right,
man.
have a good one.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Let's see. So
right, time. Dad's out of here. Time to.
You know what? I didn't have many questions, but one thing I don't want to ask him is why did he have to write this year so fucked up?
Why did he have to write this year so fucked up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no, let's push it back. Right. That. Then let's kick out James Dean, and maybe let's start.
Kick out James. Let's kick out Peter.
He could have wrote this very simply, very easily.
Yeah.
And no, but he wrote out a catastrophic illness, and then he had to write in.
Yeah, he's like,
you know,
I like the idea that in January they were like, how do we make 2020's drift season spicy? And then they were like, wait a second, what about COVID? What if we create a disease, call it COVID, make it so every automotive series has to be fucked, and then a whole bunch of people die, but FD will be an interesting season for sure. And then they're
Formula
like,
D, COVID D.
COVID
D.
Is this what season? Is this the 19th season of Formula Drift? Because my God, if it is, that's a sign. Either way, I'm gonna say it is.
I have a 10th anniversary Formula Drift watch.
Okay.
Way to flex.
10th year. It was a commemorative watch, 10th year, and I have it. I'm like, dude, that watch is already 10 years old almost.
Yeah, I've got. Well, I had before all my shit got stolen in Barcelona. I did have a really cool FD 10 years keychain. Do we have anyone in the waiting room?
Not yet.
Hey, if you're watching this, new guest, can you please?
Iron Dookie says, "Hey, do you know anyone that eats bats?" Ryan,
did we send the guy the Zoom? The next guy?
I need to grab some water. I'm dying.
I don't even know if I sent it to him. Okay, let me make sure I sent him the Zoom because this might be my bad. And if it is, I'm sorry, next guest. I like how we still try to hide that the next guest, who the next guest is, even though they are literally on the title of the video. So let me just make sure he's got it here. I'm gonna write his name.
I just sent him a text with it, just in case. But
yeah, I did forget to send him that link by the appearances of the text messages without Zoom links. So that's on me, guys. Yeah, the real mature talk with Ryan J. Sage is done. Dad's gone to bed. Time for the boys to play. And that's what our next guest is here to bring. He's here to bring the heat, bring the chill.
All play and no clay.
He's already gone golfing today.
He's
which seems to be what he does
California
every day.
life.
I think that's all he does now. He's become a professional golfer.
He's looking in better shape too.
He has 2 legs. He has hands for kissing. He's got dirty little piglets for toenails.
A pretty big chest.
Pretty big chest. We could be talking about Corey or Jarod still. Oh shit! I said his name. Now you guys are gonna know who it is.
There goes surprise.
Damn it! Damn it! Corey, I do need to find the new background image for those that are doing the audio only. My Ryan Sage background image is pretty cool.
Get an upside down U-Haul truck.
You didn't notice it. The upside down. Yeah, Jarod can tell you this story, but he recently made a repo and repositioning to my now home state of California, and his actually where he was born. But
he's a San Diegoan.
His brother did flip the U-Haul on the way over. Everyone was safe, but Jarod did lose a bunch of his free shit out the back. Yeah, hopefully he'll get more. No, I'm very happy they're safe.
Did you just say
Jarod.
that?
What?
Oh, hold on, Jared's in the waiting room.
Oh, is
he?
Yeah,
I don't see him.
He just showed up.
Dump him out. Dump him out.
Oh, there you go.
There he is, right there. Poolcast.
Hey, oh, he's doing podcast without us,
Oh, Jared.
and he's sideways.
Jared,
Jared,
turn your phone.
there you go.
Yep.
Hey,
Hey,
what's up, buddy?
What's going on, y'all? What's cracking?
what's happening?
I want to do a pool cast.
Yeah,
Well, I'm doing it.
Yeah,
This is
you
happening.
we're,
are. Are
This
you?
is happening.
we're
Where are
doing
you
it.
right now?
We're doing it.
What the Farouk? What is going on with your hair right now, Paco?
Oh, don't you
Is
love
that-
it? Look at that. I have
It's
hair.
Brad's
now.
home.
Remember
I feel like
my hair was
I-
disappearing, and now it's back.
Do you remember
Dude.
in the Avengers?
No,
movie
what's
where-
happening, Paco, is you're
where-
taking the two strands of hair from the side to meet one point, so it's actually bald still down the center.
Exactly.
It's like the dude from
remember-
Firestar, Prodigy.
Do you remember in the Avengers movie when there was Fat Odin? He's kind of like Chris Hemsworth as Fat Odin, but more fat and less handsome.
Oh, thank you.
Odin.
I'll just take it as a
Odin.
compliment.
That was a compliment.
Yeah.
I feel like he's been in Slipknot forever, and he took off his mask.
Dude,
And
yeah.
he's like the secret member of Slipknot.
Did you know that Slipknot won an Emmy, or was it a Grammy? I don't remember. They won, yeah, Grammy. Is that what it is? Yeah, Emmys or TV. Apparently Slipknot is a Grammy-winning band, which is very strange to me. I mean, it's not that strange.
Is
Slipknot,
Nickelback a Grammy-winning band?
Probably.
Yeah. So
Slipknot's
what do you
double
what do you what do you?
Well, I
Probably
think
a
it
lot
won
of
in,
shitty bands that are.
It probably won in 20. First of all, you better fucking watch it. I'm a
I'm
not
just
man.
being honest. Creed's probably an
Yep.
award-winning band.
Yeah, you keep
Mhm.
on hitting all these banger names, and
Did,
yeah, they
did you
probably are.
know? Did you know Gilbert Gottfried is a member of Slipknot? You
Is
know
this
that-
another joke?
No,
Just
that's
like the horse joke?
This
no,
hurts.
that
This
is the
fucking
truth.
hurts. This hurts.
It's
All
real.
I gotta say,
Are you-
in regards to Nickelback, look at this Oscar trophy. Fuck you, 'cause
Yeah.
I won it on my
Yeah.
own. Yep.
They're doing
Cheers.
great. Jared, whose pool are you in? Do you even know the homeowner there?
Yeah, no, I have no idea. I was like, oh shoot, I got to do this thing, and I'm really gonna give it some impact. So I pulled over and just jumped in whatever pool. I actually don't have pants on either. It was the most amazing
fuck
part
yeah.
about it.
Oh,
Is there a
yeah.
jet right in front of you on that wall there?
it's behind.
I'm just gonna plead the fifth on that one.
Sure. Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Are you
Uh,
are you super bummed that you have to go back to work now? That FD St.
Yeah.
Louis is coming this round?
man,
'Cause
this summer vacation, we call it sprummer because our kids they went on spring break. COVID hits, they never went back. So it's this sprummer into like going into school.
The Sprummer
actually-
holidays.
Where I'm at is my brother's house, so we're residing in my brother's big old house. It's 100-year-old house,
Nice.
and yeah, it's really
that pool
cool.
is huge.
Is that water
It's-
100 years old too?
The water's 100 years old. It's
That's a
disgusting,
good joke, Paco. Another one.
but it's very refreshing. It's
Dude,
That's a
Wow.
Grammy-winning joke.
Paco's
Yeah.
on one.
It's a haircut.
Hey, Jared,
Yeah.
is that your hair?
Corey,
Hey.
okay, Corey, I was listening to you during Sage's interview, and you were just quiet as a little mouse.
Yeah.
You're just a little.
I was just listening, absorbing information that Sam was spitting out. You know.
Sure.
We had a very limited amount of time, and people were firing up the super chats, which they still can right now if you wish to. Now that we're with Jared, but like I said, Dad's gone. It's time for the boys to play.
What am I? If he's dad, I'm definitely grandpa then. Like
No,
I've reached that
you're-
status.
You're the boys. Like, you know, Ryan's there to
Mhm.
tell us like,
Oh,
oh, we're being real safe with COVID, and the track
Yeah.
is cool and the same. And you're here to be like, yo, fuck these drivers, fuck
Yeah.
the sponsors. You know,
Yeah.
that's what we want to hear
Mhm.
from you.
yep. I'm all about Limp Bizkit. I jump on the stage and kick a
Okay.
hole in the speaker.
I did
know what I
gotta
mean?
go Fred Durst there for a minute, didn't I?
Fred
Did you see
Durst,
my? Yeah. Did you see the filter I put up the other day? The Fred Durst filter.
I
Is there
sure
one?
did.
Yeah.
I
But
don't even know how you
Chris,
find half these things.
thanks to Chris Stewart for the Fred Durst one. That Chris Stewart at Grid Life. He posted that one, and I did it all for the Nookie as well. So I was like, I'm in. Yeah. I was hard biscuit, not Limp Bizkit.
I think Paco's haircut is off.
It's
a
really
filter. It should be a filter itself as Paco's haircut.
That's the only way I can have hair, dude.
What do you mean?
I like it, Paco. It,
Thank
it
you.
speaks
Grown
volumes.
back.
I do like it. It looks good.
Appreciate
Yeah,
it. Thank you, guys.
I think you definitely look like a manager of Hot Topic, and
Okay.
I like it.
I'm going.
You
I'm,
know?
Paco,
I'm going for the Viking look.
Yep.
You know. Yep.
well,
When
Paco,
is, when When are the Scottish games? When are they canceled because of COVID as well, or no?
It's a Scott
cricket match coming up. Well, Pog, I just want to say I'm proud of your hair growing back. Growing way back.
Like back, yeah, exactly.
Corey, don't I don't know why you're going to the hair jokes, bro.
I'll tell you why. Let me tell you why I went there. Because my dad told that to me like 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. He's like,
"Oh, fuck you, Dad."
So I just had to use it on Paco.
So. Yeah, none of us.
Thanks, Papa Willie.
My hair's getting back there too, dude. I'm getting a little peninsula jammer.
We're all having this creep that kind of like this the water the tide is receding a little bit.
Yeah, well, no, the hair peninsula. It's getting surrounded by skin on 3 sides. I mean, this is really breaking news, guys. Maxim Driftcast. Jared comes out. He's gonna have like I'm like David Spade and Tommy Boy, like, don't tell anybody.
Yeah, well, I like the fact that we haven't had shit to talk about for like 2 months, and then now like there actually is an event in like 6 days, and we're just like talking about hairlines receding.
But don't you think that communication level is higher more than ever before?
Yeah, there just hasn't been a lot of like breaking news to discuss. Everyone's just kind of like built their cars for Long Beach, or they're finishing their cars now. Yeah. Let's start there, Jared. Whose car is not done?
Ooh. Well, if it's not, I mean, I shout out to Forrest Wang. Didn't know he was going to have a baby and just appeared like immaculate conception.
Oh, yeah, I built it. Took him a long time to build.
Well, he got nuts, obviously.
Got nuts,
and he had a child. Yeah.
So that's
it sounds like someone else got nut. And then he had a baby.
Well,
oh my God,
wow.
Sam.
Classy.
Sam.
Classy.
This is why I'm banned from Instagram, I guess.
I'm just gonna go now. I'm just out of here.
Wow.
Careful,
Cave nuts.
Is that a new law or a new? Is that a new law or a new high?
New high.
New high.
We're getting new highs all day.
Kind
Jared,
of like Corey's hairline.
Very good. Give us your 10 cents. That's 2 cents times 5 on this upcoming round. How do you feel coming back to it? How's it felt being gone from it?
Yeah, it feels weird. I'm just as excited, scared, nervous, all of it, like as everybody is. It's kind of an interesting thing, and there's no perfect answer. You can't make everybody happy in regards to safety and concerns and focusing and budgets. I mean, all these things. I mean, my workload has slowed down tremendously, which equates to not as much income, but working with you, Sam, most recently on the Hot Wheels Legends tour, which is absolutely awesome. That's really great. So for me, just going back and working with Formula Drift and seeing Ryan getting the band back together, and I think everybody wants it. Everybody's really eager about it, and I think everybody's got to be really supportive, just like doing the Hot Wheels Legends tour thing, the event the other day. If you have technical issues, I think the grace and the glass is half full as opposed to empty, and I think people are prepared to respectfully have grace. That's my whole thing, just having that grace.
I sure hope so.
And yeah, like you said, you think that people have it and then people get triggered and all this stuff, but the best analogy I could say is in regards to everything is you got to treat it like religion. And as the golden rule says, you never talk about sex, politics, and religion at the dinner table. If you're talking about sex, that gets really weird. But religion is independent, and that's your own belief, and you have to respect that. So, but in regards to drifting and Formula Drift, man, the doubleheader concept, I'm excited about it. I know the 2-car thing. I heard Ryan talking about that and some people in the chat. I mean, if you got it like that, 2 cars, it's pretty dope.
I imagine that some teams will, like RCR will probably hopefully have some form of a backup vehicle, even if it is like a demo car. But that's one of the problems, though, is that all the cars are so turned up right now that most teams can't have like a close to a 1-to-1 backup, because all their budget, all their time, and everything is in that single car. Like Forsberg's got like his like demo car, Turk's got a demo car. Like all these people have demo cars. Like those cars are not going to compete with shit.
That'd be interesting if you saw like a pro car on Saturday and then you saw demo car Sunday. It was like nationwide and cup, right? Or that would be kind of interesting. And then, I mean, I would love to see a spec series. I mean, spec series right now would be absolutely tremendous. If Ford stepped up or Nissan stepped up, I mean, spec series now would be so rad. And you could do it at like a really small track. You could do it at Willow. You could do it at Adams or go up to Park where Chelsea has his school of drift. Go up there and do something on a small track like that. But I don't know.
That was one of our like saying replacement for the season if the season didn't happen. It's like, yeah, we should do the spec series. We should do the whatever, the light, not for the same gravitas or points version of FD. But thankfully that doesn't have to happen because we're doing FD.
Obviously the big news, James and Piotr not coming this season, and has James announced anything more? Like, I know you and I.
He put out a YouTube video, and it was like talked about the history of Wardhouse, him teaming up, winning 3 championships, and then he literally ended with, "Now you guys are probably wondering what I'm going to do. Well, I have a lot of opportunities. I haven't picked anyone yet. All right, thanks. See you later." Like, literally, that's what it was. There's an 8-minute video, and then 7 minutes was talking about Warehouse, and then the last minute was saying, "I have a lot of opportunities," which was weird because Kristaps posted a picture of the 2 Euro fighters, James Eurofighter and his Eurofighter, and somebody asked, "Is this the team?" And he said question mark with a smiley face and a wink face. Like, Kristaps even post an emoji of like a smiley face and a wink face and say maybe. It's like, I could see that. I could see
that's good.
Eurofighter shit going down with those two.
Dude, how did James the Machine become James the Clickbait Machine, Dean? That's awesome. Clickbait boss.
Yeah, I think I could totally see something like that. I don't know if I would love to see James come back, but dude, he was just out there, dude. I wish I could share some clips right now. I probably could of not Drift Games. What just happened? Not too long ago.
Skill battle.
Right. James ended up winning it, but it was at Riga, and it was the most insane tandem battle. Driftmasters. Thank you. Why was I saying the Drift Games? Driftmasters, dude, and the level of competition was absolutely insane.
Shanahan got 3rd, and Piotr. Oh, sweet throwback pick right there. That is epic. Showing off my Papusa Posse tattoo. I like that. Shout out.
Yellow mic, a yellow microphone.
That was Hyperfest. Back at Summit Point, not at VIR.
Look at those glasses.
That was a good one. Yeah. I don't have hair like Paco, for sure.
Summit Point. That was like 2013.
Something like that. I don't know. It all blends together.
Because I think that was the only one I went to.
Yeah.
I think that was the only one I went to.
That's where the Don't Tase Me Bro, and I was on like the Hot Heads from Hell, and I was on an episode. They hit me up because I did the voiceover of this dude getting tased in the stands. That was epic.
Don't tase me, bro.
Well, because that's the same event where Have a Chili Dog Nerd fight came from. I didn't voice over that one, but I did voice over. If you look it up, Hyperfest, Tase Me Bro, it made a TV show. I got paid like $100.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Before I sidetracked with my beautiful Facebook sleuthing, I really like the idea of a Kristaps Dean Eurofighter in America combo, because that would make me still very happy. But like when Dean announced that he wasn't going to be coming and Peter not coming as well, like one of the most common comments I saw on that was like, "Oh, all the other FD drivers must be so happy now." It's like, no, of course they're fucking not happy. They want the sport to be healthy. They want the best driver of the last 3 seasons there, and like he's, as we've mentioned in the show many times, like there are the eras of drifting. There was the before times, and then there was the Daigo days, and then we went to the unreliability battles, chasing the Daigo days, and then we had the Age of Dean, and now the Age of Dean is over. What is this age? Is this the COVID age of drifting? Is that the new era? Like, is it going to be this weird thing where cars kind of get pared back as sponsorships maybe dwindle a little bit, or do cars stay the same and only a few of the bigger teams stay? Or I have no fucking idea what's going to happen. We shall all see, I guess. But
it's the asterisks. This season. I mean, prior to this, I was having the conversation with Denofa, which I saw you out at the Ford Proving Grounds, and we're talking about that Ford Proving Grounds, the Mach E RTR Ford Mach E.
You can do. I can do electric. The sensational video that the worst thing that anyone said in the YouTube comments was, "That's not a Mustang, but I like this video."
that back front-handed compliment. Just here's thank you, sir. May I have another?
Yeah.
So talking to Chelsea, and it's like, if you win this championship, I mean, look at Adam LZ seizing the opportunity. He actually was going to just stay pro 2, but now he's going pro because of logistically it's 4 weekends as opposed to 8. So I mean, silver lining there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you're going to be out there on the weekend anyways, you might as well go pro.
Totally.
Corey, you can go pro.
What does that mean? No. Dude, the level of driving nowadays, like I watch Driving Now and I like,
You pee a little bit.
Yeah.
I just
Pee-
like.
pee pants.
I mean,
Yeah, it's
what
like,
about-
dude, it's.
I don't know if you noticed, but
What about-
Corey's already retiring. He already bought a Corvette and everything.
Let
yeah,
me
I was
see
gonna say,
this.
take your stock Corvette and go
Drift.
drive in pro.
Matt,
Right.
let me see this. I'm gonna find this Drift Masters clip, and if this doesn't make the hair on the back of your neck stand up, dude, I don't know what to tell you, but it's like that is the level of this, and these guys are driving more than ever.
Yep.
Their cars are more capable than ever. It's not a step in there, and you know, I give kudos to anybody that think they can jump into the big leagues and like hold their own, but it's like these are the best in the world right now. Like literally, these drivers have. Dude, it's, you know, people are driving sims during the off season. People have had their cars done sooner than ever, other than
Right.
Josh Robinson. He just drove his car for the first time like yesterday. But everybody
So
else,
you asked me that question earlier. Who's
Yeah.
not ready?
Josh Robinson, yeah, just got his car finished and did his first lap around the block yesterday.
He's bringing a Eurofighter to this shebang, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
Eurofarter, it's a pretty
Eurofarter?
It's a build.
Did you say Hero Farter?
It's a
Pretty much.
Eurofarter.
If Corey drives it,
Super
it's gonna be a Eurofighter for sure.
1,000%. The American
Let me-
farter.
Let me.
The
I'm
Haas-
gonna
the
find
Haas
this
farts.
video. Let me-
Corey
Yeah, you
Haas
find
farts
that
and the
in the
Euro
meantime.
farter.
Yo, real talk. How was grid life? I don't want to get off topic, but how was grid life? You know, we talk about these events, these drift events, right? And there are gonna be no spectators. Obviously, there's a few spectators at grid life, but how was it?
Yeah, man. I mean, on track was a lot of fun. I mean, it's fun for me to just go, obviously, see my friends and reconnect. And again, you guys missed out because the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile was there.
Yeah,
Very
1,000
offended.
times we fucked up.
We're
I get
mad.
it.
It's kind of like when Snap-on Tools had their party at Universal Studios and you didn't go, but we went on the Escape from Ringgits like 10 times in a row.
Well, I
Sam.
wasn't invited, and this year was supposed to be at Disney World,
Yep.
and
Yep.
that was going to be my redemption. And
Mhm.
then, I don't know if you listened to the whole show earlier, but you guys ruined it at FD when you wrote the script for the year to try to make the year more exciting and invented
Mhm.
COVID. So
Yeah.
thank you, FD.
Yeah, I saw Forsberg invented it, so he doesn't have to battle James or James.
James, no, that's right.
James
Dean.
Hello, my name is
Oh,
James.
I'm James.
Yeah, he's
from
out.
New
He's
Zealand.
out now. We can talk all the smack, you know, like he won't like squash us. The 7-foot tall demigorgon. Yeah, the Dina Gorgon.
Dina Gorgon, I like that.
Yeah. So Grid
you-
Life was a blast, Corey. It obviously was not a shell of itself, but you know what the Grid Life family is trying to do is really create a destination and kind of an experience like a Coachella or a Bonnaroo or Lollapalooza or something like that, and that takes away from it because the travel.
The live stream was fun
yeah.
to watch.
But
Yeah.
by not having fans, how do you feel it felt being there without necessarily having the energy of the fans?
Good question. I mean, I was in a tower, so I wasn't really like intermingled with everybody, and I can feed off of it. I mean,
Right.
you know, the Grid Life demos is just awesome because you can feel the excitement from the drivers and how they're driving, and you know, I heard Ryan tease a little bit of Irwindale sensationalism about some underglow and some other stuff. So, you know, linking Grid Life and FD up, I think that could be a potential. I'd love to see that in years to come, and everybody's got to get creative. But feeding off the fans and the energy, it's more of I'm excited, you know, again, still 17 years later, I'm pumped. So, you know, I'm eager to get back out there and talk some smack.
Yeah.
And it's different.
Yeah.
It's totally different. Wow, Sam, you're really solemn right now. You okay?
No, I'm looking for my next picture.
Oh, okay.
No, I was just gonna say how
You could potentially kiss me
wasn't
with that picture. By the way.
it wasn't a real Grid Life because we weren't there, but I didn't want to say that. So I was waiting.
That goes
waiting.
unsaid. That goes
Yes. I didn't have 13 claws by noon, so it
Yeah.
wasn't-
Can I? Doesn't that work?
Yeah,
Yeah, now
that
it
works.
Yeah.
You just had to
Okay,
unlock
fine.
your-
Oh,
And
now-
I think if you go swipe right, you
If
might be
I
able to
sweep,
see all. If you
why
sweep
can we
right,
not talk?
dude, if you sweep right, you might be able to see all of us. I know if you swipe.
Yeah,
one
I do.
way- Okay,
I do
perfect.
now.
We
I'm
now we
good.
can see how wide Jarod's shoulders are. Look at that.
Yeah,
It's a wide
This-
boy.
That's
this
one.
wingspan.
It's a one
One-
wide
I'm a
boy.
thick boy.
Jared.
I'm a thick boy, dude.
Jared, have you gained or lost weight in the COVID times?
I've kind of held. Maybe I don't know.
I
I've
think
gained.
I think you
I've
look
gained a little bit of weight.
I think you look in better shape though.
That's
You've
because
been-
he's
I'm
been
not.
cruising
You've
around the green all day.
playing
crushing-
golf all the
crushing
time.
greens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I shot like a 90 today. It wasn't great.
Is that good for golf? I don't know
No.
what golf is.
It's okay. Like everybody's like, man, you got to be good. I'm like, no, I just like crushing birdies or crushing beers, bro.
How
That's
many
what's up.
turkeys you did?
I thought you're supposed to get 0.
The lower score, the better.
So 90 is a lot more than 0.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not too good.
Yeah.
How many holes was that?
That's what a dick. 18.
Yeah, that wasn't already good.
Paco, I'd love to see you. I thought you were joking. I'd love to see Paco golf, like with his like sweet Hot Topic kit.
Dude,
like,
I actually I used to golf, but I use left-handed clubs.
No way,
Yeah.
Sam.
And
Oh, Sam,
That's
a great one,
dude.
So can you explain the image that people are seeing for the audio only medium?
I was like a 1980s like cocaine drug dealer is what I was, and it was a bike riding costume in Scottsdale. Actually, you would appreciate this. Up and down Scottsdale Road, and we went to the Dirty Drummer, and we went to
the Dirty Drummer.
Yeah, the was it Rebel Lounge? No, not Rebel Lounge.
That was the place. Yeah. Corey, you remember when you were Old Town Sleaze boy?
Oh, for a short period of time, yeah.
Yep. No,
Yeah,
Rogue Bar. We went to Rogue Bar, Sam.
Oh, Rogue Bar's the best.
I know. So we'd go. So it was a costume contest, and it was like hundreds of bikes. So I went into every bar and got drinks, and then I had a bag that was just it was full of flour, and I treated it like cocaine.
I loved you.
Oh, it was great.
Just flour everywhere over these bars.
Yeah. Yeah. So that. Yeah, our boy Fred Chang was there. Jasper Watts was there. Yeah, it was good. It was a good time.
That was the DTA, right? That's like DTA era.
Yeah. That's when Jasper and Dan from Dirty Sanchez, he came out. And we had a whole bike posse. So my costume was literally a white linen sport coat, no shirt, and with a baggie full of flour. Joking.
And when you say costume, you mean this is actually the 1980s, and you're just really high on cocaine all the time, wearing sport jackets, no shirt underneath.
Yep. Listen to Phil Collins, driving my all white Countach. Yeah, just getting it.
Feeling good, looking good.
It all fell apart at the turn of the century, and here I am now sitting in a pool that I don't even know the owners. So it's
and the water must be 100 years old too.
100 years. That was
good job, Corey.
Here, let me show you guys something real quick. Let me pull this up real quick. Let me just press play on this.
So I'm gonna narrate this for y'all audio only. It's the Drift Masters, King of Riga, the best of final battles.
In the final. We know that for a
just
fact.
Look at this level of driving, dude.
And look at
Zalewski. Is that loud? Let's turn it down. Yep.
A little bit.
That's good.
It's good. No, I mean for the audio only. There, Paco. We're good. Okay.
Transition from Zalewski up to the side.
Like this is
15 on the foot brake. Is Zalewski? He has more pace. And
it's unreal to me, man. Like
describe what's good about it to the audio only medium.
What's good is it's just how precise these guys are now. And you talk about back in the day, used to be talking about Forsberg was so robotic. Osbo so everybody's now turned into robots. Confirmed.
All right, turn the volume down on the video.
Okay.
This is dangerous from Jensek. He's very close here to making contact.
I want to make it a less shitty audio experience for the audio only guys. I don't think we need audio on the video. Just turn the audio off. Mute it. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So tell us about this.
No, I think to give you an idea, it's just like once again we talk about eras and things like that, and it's like how every driver has developed to be once again very robotic, very precise. We used to say back in the day that there's no easy battle in top 32, but now it's like there's absolutely no easy battle anywhere, any part of the field, top 32 beyond. Even qualifying is going to become difficult. Obviously, it's not happening this year, but with these guys, qualifying was so close to one of
to see someone in a car that is pretty much still for sale versus this now 20-ish year old car. So, who are some of the newer names that are coming in, Jared? Do you know anything about Wataru Matsuyama or Evis Meyer or Shinji Minoa?
Shinji, Minoa. I've seen compete FD Japan, but a lot of them I don't really know, and that's I guess a testament to. I mean, shoot, Paco was giving me some of the guys' names I was spacing out on Grid Life, and I appreciate that, Paco. You're texting me some of the drivers' names, but it's I would just rival it to like vert skateboarding, vertical skateboarding. Like the new names coming in, you're like, I've never seen or heard or anything about this person. And some of them I have at like Pro-Am stuff, but it's kind of just like anything, just creating a relationship with them, seeing their driving style. And there's so many drivers out there now. There's so many different sanction bodies and just AM comps and just expression sessions and all that stuff, which is really good. I mean, I think, everybody's getting really creative, and so, chalk it up to COVID. So to answer your question directly, I don't really know much about the rookies coming into pro. Yeah.
It'll be cool to see some fresh faces in there rather than just lose some. But yeah, it'll be a fun first round. I'm trying to think.
And Ryan talked about it. I get all these DMs about like, oh, Seattle's saying no fans. So I'm glad that Ryan did clarify. So for anybody not listening, Ryan said that right now, no fans. Irwindale, right now, no fans. But ideally, things open up a little bit, get that percentage going, all that. And I mean, that made sense to me. And I was, believe me, I was looking forward to going back to Sonoma, like wine country.
I know.
Then, dude, we remember
some
Sonoma, bro.
Wines.
I barely remember Sonoma when we were up there last time.
I was gonna crush some vines, have a good times.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Maybe put some limes in your drink.
Do a bunch of lines.
Whoa.
Look at
Hey. That is flour. That is purely flour.
Okay.
It was part of a costume. Okay.
Sure thing.
Sure. Yep. No, Sonoma, I was looking forward to that. I mean, there was just a whole bunch of excitement, but it's okay.
We're a segment called "What Were You Looking Forward to" before it got ruined.
Oh man,
it's a pretty bummer segment.
I miss concerts more than anything.
Like I know. I was thinking about how friggin' awesome it's going to be to go back to a music concert. I saw one of my favorite concert of all time right before this began. So then,
Evanescence?
Left a good. Yes. Funny story. I did listen to the entire album driving back from the beach with Stephanie the other day. We did listen to Evanescence, and it holds up.
How does it feel? How does it feel?
Good. I don't know the words. I know what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I know. Would you say you're breaking up inside?
I can't wake up.
Yeah, I can't wake up. Yeah.
Save me.
Save me.
No, wrong one. Corey, what?
Wake me up inside, and then the guy ends with a save me.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's right.
Corey really knows his Evanescence.
Wake up.
Grab a brush and put a little makeup.
Hey, hold on. Why did you leave the keys upon the table?
Because
wanted to.
You wanted to.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're doing a bit right now. Corey left.
No, my camera.
Corey's out. Corey's out.
I'm sorry, Evanescence ripped me apart.
Yeah.
Started tearing up.
I was trying to say, That's what I miss about COVID.
It's weird that there's this round is about to begin, but it's like we've already talked about it so much and like what it is coming up as, and it's like I figured that there'd be like so much to discuss, but there really isn't. It's like we already we kind of know what's going into it, and no one knows shit right now. So we're all just kind of like waiting to see what's going to happen. It's really
we've been buffering. We've been like the wheel of death has just been going on. We're like, okay, dude, download,
do something.
Download. It's still going. Yeah, everybody. Hey, remember when like it was like, oh, we'll do this for like a couple months, and everybody's like, sweet, we'll go like online drifting and all this stuff. And Corey, I know you hosted one. You did a set of Corsa. Yep. I announced one for
Andy Haley.
Andy Haley, thank you. Andrew Haley, Andy. I don't know what he prefers.
Andy.
Just good old A Haley. And he's like, hey man, could you do it again? I'm like, I'm good. I'm like, it's like 4 hours. 4 hours of announcing. I'm like, I'm good. You know, I mean, I appreciate it. I'm stoked on it, but I don't know, man. I'm pumped. I think everybody should tune in. You know, obviously Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they're streaming the Pro 2 stuff. They're streaming the Pro, obviously 1 and 2, around 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's all. And Ryan said the production quality is going to be better. So you ain't got shit to do. Tune in, watch it. Should be good.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that. I was just diving into the YouTube chat here. Cody, I'm not going to try to say her Polish last name. I'm very sorry. But he says, it's the biggest thing that happened to Form Drift this year. Clowns won't talk about. Why do Warhouse make everyone sign NDAs? It's a huge drama bomb and you won't touch it, huh? We don't know what the fuck we're talking about, so we're not going to speculate. And if they sign NDAs, sure. Lots of people sign NDAs for lots of things all the time. So yeah, I don't think that you guys need to read too deeply into it unless you guys know
What's
something we don't.
this Wordhouse NDA thing? What are you talking about?
He's saying that Wordhouse, the Wordhouse thing. It's like we've already talked about that as much as we can talk about it. We don't know if there was any bonus stuff in the background that went down. And he's claiming that there was NDAs signed that they can't talk about the split, which there very well may be, but NDAs being signed for big business deals is pretty common. So we're not talking about it further, not because we're afraid of it. We don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's all.
Jarod
news
doesn't
to
know
me.
anything about it. Jarod is the king of understanding everything going on in FD. Jarod can't reveal, or not even can't reveal.
Jared's
don't know
driving
anything.
next year.
Jared's hanging up the mic. I'm coming in hot,
jumping
dude.
in.
Got myself a vet, me and Matt Field and Corey Hosford.
Well, the thing is I heard that if you're taking James's seat, you have to wear a suit too. They're not going to make you a new suit. You have to wear the same one.
Johnny Bravo. I fit right in that thing. My left thigh is about as thick as James Dean's waist. I mean, that guy is a tall drink of water, as they say.
A lot of verticality, not a lot of width, but
no girth.
He's
definitely a pencil compared to a Sharpie, if you know what I mean. Yeah. I'm more of a bold highlighter.
The big.
You're more of a You're more of a it may be small, but it may look like a needle, but I move it like a sewing machine sort of guy.
There you go. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, James Dean is the hot dog in a hallway.
Oh, in YouTube, Ben Tranter says, has Jarod heard anything about Daigo?
You know what? I was trying to troll on him, and he's great. I mean, last time I saw Daigo was in Poland at Gymkhana Grid, and we talked, and he was gung ho. He was FD, but I think just COVID left it up. Also, admittedly, I don't know what the judging scenario is. Andy was out. Robbie is in for.
Oh
remember?
Shit! We didn't ask Dad about that.
I don't know. Yeah, I know. I don't know what the scenario is, to be quite honest.
You're going to be judging, Jarod. Didn't you get the memo?
I'm in.
Is there travel from Japan to USA right now? Does anybody know?
Yes, there is. It's minimal. You have to quarantine. You have to do that. So I know, dude, I don't know if you guys saw Daijiro was separated from his wife and kids for months, man. They went to Japan by design, and then early COVID, then they just decided to stay there. So, but there is travel, but I believe it's like a self-quarantine. 14
Daijiro just made some big moves on Pikes Peak with
dude.
Right?
He won his class.
Yeah, won his class in the Unlimited.
Yeah.
And Chair Slayer crashed, huh?
Dude, pretty hard.
Oh, I'm glad he's okay.
Yeah, dude, it's talk about racing in general. It's like, I talked to him a little bit today, and he was just saying you're at the mercy of the mountain. They have this you have certain windows to do things with weather. And I've also been in Pikes Peak, but I haven't been up the mountain. But it was one of those things he needs to go now, or this shit's gonna shut down because it's supposed to snow in about 20 minutes. Yeah. So he says he rolled up to the line, and they're like, no. He had built this routine of taking a breath, getting in gear, turning on the oxygen,
nope.
And he was just third corner in, flew off the track, flew into a tree, and he just blames it purely on just
jitters.
Didn't do his routine and just being rushed.
Yeah, and and Corey, you can speak to that. You're a creature of habit and finding your nuances and wiping with both hands and all that,
Yeah, well, it's when we talked, we've talked, even we talk about off track all the time. There was an off track episode where I was like, hey, what's your routine before you get in the car? What's your routine? People are like, I put my left glove on every single time. Right. Or Di puts his water bottle in the door. He makes sure he splashes on there. And it's it fucks you up if you don't have that moment. It really does, right? Because then you think about, I didn't do my thing. And that'll beat you up for however long. And that just gives you an idea, psychologically, where some of these drivers are. And it kind of makes me change my psychological thing where it's
don't have one.
Don't have one. Nothing should matter.
Yeah.
Nothing should matter. Just be ready for anything. But
and then the nothing matters becomes a thing that matters. You're like, don't do anything. Yeah. But I got to do the nothing thing. Damn it.
Well, in the end, nothing really matters.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Doesn't really matter?
Yeah. No, doesn't really matter.
Did you try really hard, and then how far?
How far do you got?
Yeah.
My routine usually before I have to do something really important is I punch myself in the face as hard as I can. And that way,
that's what happened.
No one can take that away from me. I can always hit myself in the face real hard.
Ooh.
Oh. That's
man.
That's Rob's unit right there. So
woof.
if you guys are listening, it's definitely looks like it took a tree front row center. Right on the Chevy
Woof.
bow tie.
He sure showed that tree a lesson.
I'm happy that it happened in the tree area and not the fly off a cliff 500 feet area.
Yeah, he said it was about 3 or 4 turns in when he ended yard sale. And he said he was on par in practice to do like an 11-minute 40, which is still pretty fast, dude. Di ran a 10:09 or 10:04, so he was about a minute and a half, minute 40 off of Di's time, which is it's fast.
Dude, Cole at Sierra Cars was like a sub
9:30.
Yeah, dude, Cole at Sierra
9:36.
Cars. Yeah, him and Aaron Kaufman are out there, and then
the whole weekend.
Yeah, Cole was crushing the Sierra car. Yeah, Pikes Peak is gnarly. I did see, and our boy Tommy Baleo. Dude, you see Randy Prost catch air in that Tesla?
The Tesla?
Yeah.
Holy crap!
And they got it back on track, right? They fixed
the Tesla? No way. That thing. I don't know.
I thought I saw that they're racing. Like they actually got it back.
That's news to me.
They confirmed.
It's definitely news to me. Yeah.
I'm trying to find an article rather than just the sheet of times on here. I want to say like the press release of
times of what?
The Pikes Peak.
Pikes Peak.
Oh yeah.
I can look at the numbers here, but I want to see a press release on like the most notable stuff there. But yeah, so I've never been up there, and it's actually one of the areas that I've never really wanted to shoot because just the elevation sounds like it would wreck me. Just like the few times I've like when we're shooting like that snap on Great Garages at the top of Spring Mountain, not Spring Mountain. What's the name of that mountain? Winter Park. Yeah, just like being at the top of that mountain and having to run around with my red cam and like shoot.
That's right.
It was tough to like breathe and run and move. I can only imagine what it's like.
Remember we got nauseous?
Drive up there. Oh yeah, constantly.
Well, Dino, so here's this. So I was asking Rob too about that. So he was running oxygen. So he had 2 tanks of oxygen. And so he only was able to use it for a certain amount of time on day 1, which was, a week before race day, just to make sure it worked. And he said when he was sitting on grid, he turned on his oxygen. But I guess when he breathed pure oxygen from not being fully oxygenated, he says it kind of gets you a little loopy too.
Yeah.
So he's like, there's a balance on how you have to do this. And he's like, it was just a massive learning curve. But I could see a lot of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. Pure straight oxygen, man. That Perrier, like Spaceballs. Right? Crack cans of Perrier.
We're all major assholes.
I assume it just kind of makes you like Bradley Cooper in Limitless. You can just see the next move. You can see the next turn before it even comes around the corner. When you're on 100% pure oxygen, you use 100% of your brain. Right? That's like doing whippets, right? Is that what
Paco?
you should do?
Yeah.
Is it like whippets, Paco?
I've never done it. Sorry.
Paco is our whippet man.
I only whip it.
Sponsor.
I only whip it real good.
Okay.
We did get that whippet sponsorship.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a cool sponsor to have? Like now that we're gonna have to kind of dive deeper into the unconventional sponsor bin.
Yep.
You think whippets would sponsor
balloons?
a driver?
I can see the balloon actually itself, not the
Yeah.
actual.
Get the crackers.
Who would they sponsor?
Whippets?
Matt Field. I think Matt Field.
Oh, probably. He'll probably.
Party boy.
Yeah. He's a party boy, dude.
Is he the party boy of FD right now?
I'd say maybe Ryan Literal.
Ryan Literal's the party boy?
I think so.
Isn't Literal the youngest driver in FD right now, like 39 or 40?
Oh, man. Shit. Wow.
I'm kidding.
Well,
I'm kidding.
He's not he's not so big though. He's the literalist.
That was a stretch.
No,
dude.
I'm still working on that. Don't worry about that one. No, it's a Paco whoop. That's fine. I'm trying.
Just talking about age in general, dude, it's like there's a lot of lifespan, dude, in these drifters. People have been around. There's still Ken Gucci. We talk about Vaughn, we talk about Ford. Like, these dudes are still out there fucking kicking ass, man.
I've grown up with these dudes.
I know.
I was just down. I actually stopped after I went golfing. I stopped by Forsberg shop and I saw old Jimmy and Forsberg. So their shop's empty. They're working on some cars, working on some projects, man. And yeah. Stop buying. Had a brewski.
I want to go down there and do a special episode of this show or something else because they've got the coolest setup in the world down there.
They do.
Just two boys having their Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift garage life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're living sleep in the little pods.
Would you say you want to go down, baby? Who's in a right? Shimmy, yash. Right? Is that it?
There's a super chat.
Then you know how they do in Tokyo.
Oh.
Fast and Furious.
Ding, ding,
Yep.
ding,
Sure.
ding, ding.
If you've seen it, then you mean it that you know they have to go?
Paco, did you do an Instagram for Jared questions or just the Sages?
I think just for Sages. I'm sorry.
Yep, just for
sorry,
Sage.
Jared. Yeah.
Cool.
But
It's okay.
But there's
Cool.
but here's a super
Dude,
chat question for
Somebody
Jared.
on JR on YouTube says too much oxygen can actually cause you to go blind.
Oh gosh.
like is this fun facts? What is this? Is this real? Because the food. Yeah.
That's just a lie that your parents tell you, Corey. So you don't
they
do
a
oxygen.
whip it to normalize yourself.
Yeah.
YouTube, if you guys are on YouTube right now and you're watching and you have a question for Jared or us, this would be like the normal convention Instagram one. Sorry, Instagrammers. In the meantime, we'll do super chats. If you got a question for Jared that you definitely want to get through, super chat it. But Ben Tranter says, has Jared heard anything about Daguerre? Did that Ben Tranter also says, Chris Ole is standing in for our Robbie.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay.
Who's standing in for Robbie?
Chris Ole, Formula Drift. He's one of the carnies.
One of the carnies.
Yeah, track worker.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So he's standing in
Had
for
no
Robbie.
idea. Yeah, I didn't. When we have FD staff meetings, I never bring it up, and I never hear the answer. So I'm just going on a more public forum now and saying I don't know who the other judge is.
I'm gonna assume that Ben Tranter has some information that we don't know, because this is also not confirmed.
Always trolling. You never know.
Yeah.
And then Chris Nelson says, since Jared lives in San Diego now, as we all know, is there enough microbrews around to keep him satisfied?
Actually, I don't live in San Diego. I grew up in San Diego. Actually, I'm in the Inland Empire. I'm in Riverside, California now. So it's about an hour and a half. Tomorrow I'll be down. Tomorrow I'll be down in San Diego hanging out with my boys at Throttle, Mickey and TJ and Evan. So
cool.
I will be in San Diego. I might go golfing after we have a meeting.
Why did you live us?
Cool.
Golf.
Why do you hate Arizona
What is this
now?
golf thing? Well, what is this golf thing? When did you start getting on? I know you golfed out here, but golf is the thing now.
Yeah.
Huh?
Golfing's the jam, dude. It's the best. It's mental fortitude and hanging out with some homies, social distancing, seeing some beautiful tracks. And
All you do is walk around and hit stuff and then drink beers in the sun.
I played golf for the first time probably 2 months ago.
Oh,
I did not give a shit about my school. Do you know what my goal was? Is just to make sure I had my ball from start to finish, the same ball. I don't care how many strokes I did. It was just keep the ball. I start with it and leave with it.
I guess you don't lose it when you only hit it 100 yards every time.
Dude,
so that makes sense.
I do want to learn.
So bad. It was so bad, but it was fun, dude. It was super fun.
You want to learn to play, Sam?
Yeah, I want to go to the driving range with you because, like I've said, I've done driving range like twice as an adult, and I like Happy Gilmore 1 out of every 3 balls, and then the other 2 just like go 10 feet very hard left or very hard right, and it doesn't work out so well for me. So I'd like to dial in probably the walking around in the sun and drinking beers aspect, the game less so, because I think that'd be funny for everyone to see how bad I would be at it. But who knows?
Did you see my special club that I got, the big Beertha?
Oh yes, of course.
You sweal it right before.
Yeah, dude. You pour a beer in the club head, and it's the shaft is the drinking vessel. So you torque that thing, you put that club up, and you just house a brewski for the bros.
I would love to see just another like group of people drive by and see dudes squealing on a golf club.
It's the best.
Away.
and the way I do it is you have to slug one, and then you go to hit like immediately, and it's like. Sometimes because you don't care, you just slug and plug, dude. Yeah, slug and swing away.
Ben Turner says apparently Sage said it in Discord. Now FD has a Discord. Everyone's got a Discord. We have a Discord now.
Yeah,
I'm not a part of it yet. I would like to.
Just posted the link.
And then also Chris Nelson says maybe Sam, if you didn't kick Chris out of race service, you would see him more. That's not how that happened. but that's okay. Chris needed more than we could ever supply him with, and Chris has his own badass garage.
I think instead of a question for Jared, a question for all of us, but this could also be used leaning towards the closing statements. If we were to talk about top 3, who's going to be the podium at St. Louis and why? We'd even ask that with Sage or talk about that with Sage, but it's
St. Louis Saturday and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday.
I'm gonna say I think Chelsea's fired up. It's got a lot of seat time. I think Chelsea is on one. I think Vaughn is he's been busy, man. He's been moving. Osbo in the Supra, I don't know, man. Turk, he did have some track time with the old Corolla. He might get comfortable. Jeff Jones, like his new livery. Would love to see old Jonesy up there. Mohan's still involved. Obviously Forsberg always a threat, but I'm thinking Chelsea in the mix, man.
Yeah, I can
Chelsea.
definitely see Chelsea.
JTP too, man.
JTP too.
JTP, yeah.
What about
JTP the
Dye?
second?
Digero's like, I hope he's got a little angst. He needs to get pissed. Dye's too mellow.
He's comfortable.
Yeah, Dye needs to get mad. Oh,
So it's
Odie
gonna be,
too. Duh, Odie and
yeah.
feel like, man.
It's going to
like,
be a very similar layout to last year. He said minus that the last corner will be outer instead of inner. Last year, the big four were James Dean, Wiechek, Osbo, and Turk. And then the grade 8 was also added Essa, Gittin, Odie,
Essa too.
Field. So yeah, all these dudes are potentials.
Look at let's see here. You said Matt Field. Yo, I'm excited to see Dylan too. You know, I think Dylan had a bonk rookie year because of the circumstance.
Right.
I would love to see him get down in his BMW. Like he did.
This time it's his team.
What's that?
And this time it's his team. His own.
Right. And that's what I'm saying is like he's actually. I believe this would be considered like his rookie year, knowing that this is his team, his organization, his home built car, no interference. Obviously, you have the fuck Huddy bombs coming up, which I get guys. But it's like, yo, Dylan deserves it. And I'm glad he was able to maintain some partners. But I remember watching him Pro 2 in Seattle, which was his home track, and the dude shredded. He shredded on a big boy track in the 240 SX. I can see him, but JTP is probably going to be one of my favorites. And I'm still in a Mustang. He didn't switch platforms. Forsberg is going to be one of my favorites too. Same chassis, and he's been driving.
I think Dye needs a little. I think like if you can harness a little bit of JTP's angst and give sprinkle a little on Daijiro Yoshihara in that Falcon pit, I think that would rival each other. Because I like JTP's driving, but sometimes he just overcooks it and beats himself more than anybody beats him. Because he's a great driver, but then he just tries to go for that X factor, and sometimes he spins. Oh, we got lights, baby. Oh, look at this.
Oh, pretty.
Jeff Jones just bombed in chat. He just showed up. He says, I know 9 drivers not showing up. Okay, bye. All right, Jeff.
Any to do a skull face.
Oh,
what's a skull emote, dude?
What's up with Jeff Jones? Drinking Doc, getting.
Dude, he just crushed it. He just shotgunned a Doc at 8 o'clock.
Dude, he just.
It's Doc o'clock, my man.
Doc o'clock.
Clocks, dude.
He's probably in Oklahoma.
What time is it? It's Doc o'clock. Yeah, drink Doc.
He's in Oklahoma eating a bologna sandwich and in the back of his truck, bombing us in chat right now.
Love Jeff Jones.
Dude,
Love
much
that
respect. Dude. Okay, so here's the deal. Last year was James Dean 1, Osbo 2nd, Peter 3rd at St. Louis last year. Gittin was top 8. Odie was top 8. Matt Field was top 8. And Turk was top 8. Forsberg advanced from top 32, went up against Gittin, and Gittin beat him.
Yeah, they had that weird shit though with that corner and the oil or something. I don't remember exactly. But
remember the longest delay of all time? Who was it that spilled oil? Wasn't that Daijiro or Gucci? It was Gucci.
The Goosh man.
Remember Gucci pissed all over the track, delayed everybody for eons.
Delay of game.
Yeah.
Typical Goosh maneuver.
I don't even want to speculate. It's easy to say that the big dogs are going to get up top, but I don't even want to speculate. There's so many new factors in there. I would not put Vegas odds on like anyone other than maybe.
No.
I feel good about Turk.
Dude,
I feel good about
Denofa went against
Chelsea.
Field last year, and Field beat Denofa in top 16.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's a different time. Things have changed, but it's like Denofa did that. Was it the big old backy coming off that long straightaway, and that may have judged him weird? Or I remember there was a big crazy move like that.
And Gucci came over and pissed on their hoods. That's what he did. Gucci, man, just peeing all over. Yeah, like Angerman, like Steve Angerman?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Just want to clarify. Yeah, I think Chelsea's like, I think he's my top pick to really to strike because he's gotten a lot of driving time because he's part of the RTR team, and Vaughn and Chelsea have been going content crazy to backfill the lack of events. So they've been behind the wheel of a lot of cars.
Speaking of which,
yeah,
Freedom Factory, you were just out there.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome, dude.
Shout out to Cletus McFarland and the
Freedom Factory.
The Burnout Rivals brought to you. Hell yeah, brother. Presented by Summit Racing. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. I wanted to talk to you about that, and that was a perfect segue. But I didn't want to. Obviously, we're changing directions all over the place, but that was a good time. It seemed like a good time. I definitely watched it, try to stay up to date with it. But it's pretty gnarly out there, that operation.
Yeah, dude. Garrett, aka Cletus. That's his real name. I didn't want to be the guy behind the curtain, but that is his Instagram handle, Garrett1320 video. But yeah, he's a really, really good dude, man. I met him at Ford Fest a couple years ago, and just a really all around good dude. So yeah. So also, hey, by the way, LS Fest is happening in Kentucky. So if you have an LS and you want to drift, from what I understand, Holly Performance LS Fest is happening. So drifting at Bowling Green, Kentucky. FYI.
When is that?
That is in like a couple weeks in Kentucky. Yeah, I haven't even booked my flight. Like I'm just getting like I'm getting details as of like hours. So I got some email or text this morning, but I was too busy golfing. So sorry, Blaine.
Is there some sort of like bumper sticker you can get that kind of says like busy, gone golfing, or like something like what do you like? I'd rather be golfing, or like is that kind of?
I think it's live. Now? I think it's live, laugh, golf.
Yeah. Or should be caution golf clubs on board.
Yeah,
like
that's cool.
LS Fest, September 11th to 13th, Bowling Green.
September 11th. That's 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
September 11th to 13th. That's correct.
It's literally you have FD this weekend, and then you have literally your back
LS Fest
on the 9th or 10th, which is that.
Yep. And we have our second round of the Hot Wheels Legends Tour.
Back home.
Behind the curtain is our boy Sam Nalvin.
Oh, tell us about it. What is that?
Hot Wheels Legends Tour is now gone virtual. Something that has happened previously at Walmart locations.
Yeah, many decades ago, we used to drive around in our old jalopy all across the world to Walmart parking lots, and we would find the coolest cars and turn them into Hot Wheels, the hottest of wheels. And then once Formula Drift and Jarod wrote COVID into the script, that changed, and now there's the online versions, which they've done a couple live stream versions of that. Hoonigans helped out on the previous one. I don't know what the first one was exactly.
Yeah, it was Nads and Scotto and Vin. They all chimed in. It was a virtual stop. So
this one,
the whole Camino one.
Yeah, this one, the media partner was the Throttle Boys. We had TJ and Mickey on there, who I called Ricky initially. I'm sorry, Mickey.
Ricky.
Yeah.
We had BC Moto, we had Cody Walker, we had Ryan Turk chimed in for the Mobile One fan favorite, as well as two Hot Wheels designers.
I did get a creep shot of me talking to Cody Walker because I was so excited.
Were you really?
Yeah.
That's adorable.
I know.
He was good.
Cody Walker is a very nice man. He's a cool guy.
He is a nice man. Yeah.
Why don't you marry him?
It's good. Yeah.
I will.
Chill out. Yeah. Hot Wheels Legends Tour is really cool. It's really fun. It's definitely a pivot move for an iconic brand such as Mattel and Hot Wheels and the whole family, because celebrated 50 years 2 years ago. So now it's a different way to engage, man. So they're doing like limited edition drops on some diecast stuff, and it's pretty cool. So we're all getting creative, man. Like sitting in pools, and it's cool because I don't have to get out. I'm just peeing in the pool, so it's nice.
Yeah, of course. What's the percentage of pee to pool water at this point?
Ooh, 80-20. 80% urine, 20% water.
You're in big trouble now for peeing in that pool too much. Of those guys that apparently have kids nearby. Have they called the cops yet?
Oh, can you hear the kids running around or no?
Oh yeah, I didn't want to stop you because it's the sound of child's laughter can soothe the savage beast or something. I don't know. Yeah. T-Bone's
got neighbor kids over. My youngest T-Bone hasn't seen a peer since like his birthday, March 18th.
Oh,
outside of his cousins, and then now we have some neighbor kids that he can play with, so it's fun.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Well,
if you recall back to Poolcast, he doesn't come across. He's gonna be naked here in a little bit. That's
what
happened on our Poolcast
1.0. That was like 3-4 years ago.
Gosh, it seems. I don't know. Does it feel like forever ago or just yesterday?
Forever. Many
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Feels like just
Jared, I don't know
time
if you know this,
ago.
but this show's a growing pull, dude. It feels like we've been doing this for way too long. It's about time to wrap it up.
Oh, geez. Like this episode, or you mean the show?
No.
In
Just
general,
the show.
no,
Just
forever.
in general.
Oh, I was
Just
like,
in
gosh,
general.
dude.
It's like this. Yeah, it feels like we've been doing this for way too fucking long.
Well, if
I appreciate it.
No, it's great, dude. No, we love it, man.
yeah, we love it. We love you guys listening now on YouTube. We love you guys listening audio later. Honestly, this is one of our YouTube numbers keep growing each time, which is awesome. You pull them in, Jared, with your heavy D energy. Heavy DeAnda, that's what that means. Heavy DeAnda
That's good.
energy.
I get it. No, I get it. Heavy D
Yeah,
and the boys.
let's send him out before Jared has to make a twosie in the pool, because I feel like the homeowners would really not appreciate that. The old Butterfinger in the pool basket
if you ever
situation.
Sam, if you ever find a Butterfinger in the pool, you say you found it, you didn't make it.
Of course.
So you
Yeah,
cut
like,
it
oh,
and
who
then you
put
pull
this-
it out. Oh, dude,
Wait, you
somebody
cut
shit
it?
in the pool, but you cut the turd. You're the one who gave birth to it, right? But you don't.
Yeah.
Actually, I come here and I say, you won the lottery, you win $100,000, and I lay
Yeah.
2 solid little turds because that's a $100,000 candy bar, and that's what's
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
Those are very small turns.
Kevin
Yeah,
Walsh in chat said, and this is a great bumper sticker, and I can't believe we forgot this one. That says, "I'd rather be driving a golf ball." That's the best.
That's
Oh,
pretty
it's happening.
good.
That's very
I
good.
think TaylorMade did make those stickers, but yeah.
Dude, that's
I
so
like it.
good. I'd rather
All
be
right.
driving a golf ball.
Well,
That's very good.
Guess what sticker I'm getting, dude? That is dope.
Dude,
That is happening.
so
Immediately.
good.
All right, well, thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you, Jared. We can't wait to watch you and the rest of the FD family in the live stream this weekend for
Yeah,
Formula Drift
man.
St. Louis,
Yeah.
our first FD event of the year. The first FD event of the year. But yeah, we're very excited to see you and all their drivers. And thanks, man. I will catch you this weekend. Do you just want to send it home with Jared, guys? You got anything bonus to say?
Oh yeah, it's gotta thank our Patreons who they've been with us during the whole COVID. Is that like
That's
so nice
amazing,
that if they all stay with us? None of them went away. We talk
Mm,
about
that's very
like
nice
how
of you guys.
nice of our patrons to keep supporting the show.
And that's
So-
why Paco's hair looks so good. He keeps on buying these expensive Odin haircuts.
Extensions.
Extensions.
Hair
Yeah.
extensions. That's right.
Like it. Thanks, guys.
And thanks,
for
every-
having
Yeah,
me.
Jared.
I will see you guys sooner than later, brother.
Yeah, buddy.
Appreciate y'all. Love y'all.
Thank you, buddy.
We'll see you, Jared.
Everybody, have a good night.
See you guys.
Bye.
Fun this weekend. Discord. Join our Discord. We'll
Oh yeah,
talk.
Discord
actually,
or
yeah.
else.
Before we go, just explain that, Corey, real quick.
Basically, go on Discord, guys. We have a voice section. We also have a general section. Topics, news, photos. We'll leak stuff in there. I know we have a Facebook group, but we can do pre-hype. We can maybe do a watch, Maximum Driftcast watch of Formula D this weekend. So
Oh, that's
head
a
over
good
to
idea, yeah.
Discord. We'll put it in the description of this podcast, and we'll also put it in the description of the YouTube video. So guys,
Should
click
we-
on the link, join it.
I imagine that the whole Discord is going to be kind of a shit post version of the FD Discord.
I think
but can I have like an extra special shit post room?
we can
Sure.
have
Or like
Sam
where
room,
we-
yeah.
We're just
Sam's-
gonna call
we'll
it
call it
Sam's-
Sam Shithole.
Sam shithole.
Okay. Okay. Can work with that.
Perfect.
All right,
right.
guys. We'll catch you later.
Thanks everybody for joining
Yeah.
us. We'll see you pretty soon.
Don't do a Tuesday in the pool.
Oh, don't do that. Goodbye.